The Gauteng police are investigating the killing of 2 people at a Rand Water and City of Johannesburg back-to-school event in Zakariyya Park. That's in the south of the city. An unnamed Rand Water executive is among the 2 people killed, while the city's chief whip, Sithembiso Zungu, is one of the 3 others wounded in the incident. The motive for the shooting is still unclear. Rand Water says it cannot release the name of its employee without the family's consent. All right, let's stay with that story. Joining me in studio now is ANC Gauteng spokesperson Lesego Makhubela, who's going to tell us more about any new information you may have. Mr. Makhubela, a tragic incident where people simply walk into an event where there are school children as well. They open fire and some people have died. Do you have any information relating to what happened yesterday?
Well, we're waiting for the police to shed light into what really happened. But as the African National Congress in Gauteng, we view this as an open declaration of war by brazen criminals who have decided to become gods and play with the lives of our people. This has happened in the open, as you would have said, that we had hundreds of school children in that particular hall where this incident took place, and they brazenly walked in, shot at people, and these learners are scarred for life, and hence we commend the MEC of Education who has entered to come and offer support for those learners who were there, including the teachers.
Do you know, particularly around the Rand Water executive, whose name we don't know at the moment because we respect the family's decision to give it out to the media. But the important question here is whether you are aware of previous incidents that may have occasioned what has now become an assassination, a successful assassination, if you like, because there are suspicions that this may have happened before, and this was possibly a heavily guarded person because of previous experiences. Are you aware of such?
None whatsoever. We know he's a person who mentored me, who was the spokesperson of the ANC in Tshwane. I was the chair of the Youth League, and I was appointed by the ANC to speak on behalf of the ANC in the caucus of the ANC in Tshwane. So we worked very close together. I've learned a lot from him. Very peace-loving man. I know that he was heavily guarded because of the threats on his life. It has become uncharacteristic that you have an official of the state to have as many bodyguards as he did because of the death threats to his life.
But how many bodyguards did he have?
Yesterday he had around 4 bodyguards because of the threats on his life, and one of the bodyguards was fatally shooted and succumbed to his injuries. The 2 are also fighting for their lives in hospital. And I think you would have characterized it very well as an assassination, and hence we call it an open declaration of war against the authority of the state by brazen criminals. And we will not tolerate any delays into the investigation of this. We know where he worked. We just have to follow what he was doing there, and we will have to connect the dots and be able to hunt down these criminals and make them face the full wrath of the law.
We may not be aware of the motive behind this killing, but your assertion that this was an assassination, it opens up a number of questions. You've already revealed that he was a heavily guarded man because of the threats to his life. He worked in an institution, a parastatal. I'm going to ask a direct question. Did this have anything to do with tenders, possibly?
Well, we don't know. That information has not come in to us, and we don't want to make any assumption on a very sensitive case of this nature, and then begin to play in public gallery and lead the police astray. We will wait for the police to investigate this. to follow their leads and be able to actually help us in what was happening. But we know him as a peace-loving man who has given himself to the service of our people, serving them as far as being an SRC leader at TNT, which is now known as Tshwane University of Technology, served in the ANC REC, and now served at the Rainwater, firstly as its spokesperson, then later as a general manager, who dedicated his life to public service. Even when there were threats to his life, he courageously walked into that wall and said, I'm going to be part of this back-to-school campaign, and if I die, so be it, because when you serve the public, unfortunately, that's what you sign up to. And we hope that the police will get to the bottom of this and leave no stone unturned in finding who are responsible for this.
Final question to you.
Yeah.
There is a constant reference to previous threats to his life. Are you able to share with us what those were?
We believe that the press conference, which will be chaired by the chairperson of the Rainwater Board later this afternoon, will give further light as to why Rainwater acceded to his demands for him to get protection. And I think that will help a lot, because it's uncharacteristic that you have a general manager guarded. He was guarded because his employers knew about the threats to his life, perhaps related to his work, because that's why Rainwater is the one who gave him that protection. And I think that will help us a great deal. But our condolences to his family, our condolences to one of his protectors, and as well as we wish speedy recovery to the chief whip of the ANC in Johannesburg. He's not the first chief whip to be shot. Just a few months ago, the chief whip of the ANC in West Rand was shot 11 times, survived. His car was riddled with bullets. And hence, the police need to see this as an open declaration of war against the authority of the state.
By who, Mr. Makhubela?
By unknown assailants. He was coming from addressing a community meeting, and then on his way home, while driving with the spokesperson of the ANC in the West Rand, they were pursued by a car which started shooting them. He sustained injuries, he survived, and the spokesperson also survived. So hence we are saying this is an open declaration of war on the authority of the state. It should not be left. We should be able to deal with this and find out who are behind this. And they were addressing a public meeting as well. Whoever shot them waited for them to finalize addressing a public meeting that was related to transformers in that area in the West Rand. And then therefore, after addressing that meeting, they were pursued, shot, and nearly lost their lives. So not only are innocent civilians put at risk, public representatives are put at risk. Officials of government now to become an official government is increasingly becoming a death sentence, and we should not allow it. It should not happen in a democratic and free country that we fought for. We have to deal with this as an open declaration of war, and all resources have to be thrown into this so that we get to the bottom of it.
Lesego Makhubela, let me thank you very much for your time. Spokesperson of the African National Congress in the province of Gauteng. All right.